Among the next people to be afflicted was 10-year-old Ann Putnam Jr., the oldest child of Thomas and Ann Putnam. She was described as seeing an apparition of an old woman sitting in her grandmother's chair. Over and over she was visited by it. It was a belief at the time that witches could send their spectral form to visit their victims. At first she could not identify the woman by name, but after giving a physical description and saying that she thought she recognized the woman from where she sat in the local meeting house, a list of potential suspects was offered. She eventually confirmed that it was 71-year-old Rebecca Nurse. As time went on, Anne described nightmarish encounters with Rebecca's specter. Supposedly, Rebecca repeatedly visited her, offering Anne the devil's book to sign, and physically tortured her when she refused. Her uncle swore in a deposition that on one occasion he witnessed a terrified Anne writhing and screaming for Rebecca to stop hurting her, claiming Rebecca was beating her with chains. When the episode ended, he found marks on her arms, which he believed were physical proof that what she described was real. Rebecca was the 5th person to be arrested on charges of witchcraft, and only the 2nd church member. During her examination, Rebecca insisted she had nothing to do with what was happening. It's hard to say why magistrates decided to officially arrest such a well-respected woman. Within a short time of her arrest, many others came forward also believing her specter had visited them. A few even accused Rebecca of using her powers to kill. Neighbor Sarah Holton testified that Rebecca had bewitched her husband Benjamin Holton with a strange disease a couple years prior, causing his premature death at about age 30. She believed it was in retaliation for their pigs damaging the nurse's garden. Ann Putnam Sr., mother of the girl who first accused her, described being tormented by Rebecca's specter as well, testifying that on a daily basis she wrestled with her tormentor, who tried to force her into working for the devil. Anne even had nightmares where she was visited by the spirits of her children who had died at birth. They claimed Rebecca was the one to cause their premature deaths. Despite being called a murderer by some, 39 neighbors signed a petition to Rebecca's good moral and Christian character. Where others understandably had harsh words for their accusers, Rebecca seemed always calm and collected in court. She prayed for their well-being, agreeing that the devil probably did have a part in their pain, but was adamant that she herself had no part whatsoever in what was happening. At trial, she was initially found not guilty, but after much speculation that her specter was still at work, the courts reconvened to discuss her case. Eventually, the jury asked permission to redeliberate, which was entirely legal at the time. The main topic they discussed was a comment Rebecca had made in reference to a confessed witch as one of her company. At the request of the foreman, she was given a chance to set the record straight, but she remained silent, leading them to find her guilty. Later, as her children drafted an appeal to the governor for a reprieve, she signed a letter signifying, being old and hard of hearing, that she never heard the question, but that she simply referred to this woman as a fellow accused witch. Even the foreman who convicted her wrote a letter on her behalf after hearing this explanation. Although the governor did grant her a reprieve initially, it was eventually rescinded, and she was executed on July 19th, 1692.